Ikwerre n'otu anụmekau dịele, anụmekau dịele, anụmekau dịele, anụmekau dịele. Obekwu nye eze maọbụ ele eze na Ikwerre bụ mkpa nnọọ. Ma obekwu okele a ele ọha Ikwerre, Ikwerre n'otu gbakọrọ agbakọ, ọ bụ mgba asaa. My name is Dr. Alex British Chinedu Ekwesi Tasie. I am a proud son of a traditional hunter in Ikwerre land. I am a native of Ishopo Ancient Kingdom in Ikwerre land, which is in Rivers State of Nigeria, West Africa. I am by profession a writer, a musician, a filmmaker, a football coach, a historian, and also a multi-dimensional thinker. I am an Ikwerre historian who is vastly informed about the background history of Ikwerre people. I am a teacher in the traditional aspect. And I am popularly called Professor of Native Intelligence. I am an Ikwerre image maker. What I have here to talk about is one aspect of the life of Ikwerre people that I discovered is an aberration, is a misnomer, is out of point in Ikwerre land. And that is, can a woman from Ikwerre land marry a fellow woman? In other words, what I want to discuss is called same-sex marriage in Ikwerre land. Same-sex marriage in Ikwerre land. Can a woman, from Ikwerre land, in Ikwerre land to marry a fellow woman? In the context that I am talking about, there are two categories of the woman that I am talking about. There are two categories here about the woman in context. The first is a legitimate female child of Ikwerre land. In other words, a woman who is a legitimate member, an indigene of Ikwerre land. A woman whose father is from Ikwerre land originally. Can that woman marry a fellow woman and bring the woman that she has married into her father's house? And the other category is a woman, maybe from Ikwerre or not, but married into an Ikwerre family. A woman that an Ikwerre man has as a wife. Can that woman go out there, marry a fellow woman, and bring into her husband's house? This question beckons for quality answers because, as I have said earlier, I find it as an aberration to see this happen in Ikwerre land, as against the traditional norm, practice of the people of Ikwerre land. My goal in all that I do is to give the wider world an impression about the people of Ikwerre land, about their origin, where they came from, what they say concerning where they came from, not what an outsider who does not even know his or her origin tells about Ikwerre people. And also to expose certain important aspects of the life of the traditional Ikwerre people. These are my goals that I want to score as I deal with the historical matters of the people of Ikwerre land. I think that I have sufficiently dealt on the issue of Ikwerre origin, and quite interesting, I find no much criticism against what I say concerning the origin of Ikwerre people, because few people who counter do not submit evidences, counterclaims to delete what I say. So what I say still holds water. Away from that, it is important also that I bring to fore some of the important aspects of life of the people of Ikwerre land, so that the wider world can have a better view, better optics about the people of Ikwerre land, more understanding about the people of Ikwerre land. Whether my people support me financially or not, there is no problem. I promised Captain Elechi Amadi before he died that I will be there for Ikwerre land and for Ikwerre people. Can a woman who is legitimately from Ikwerre land, or who is married into an Ikwerre family, have the right to marry another woman and bring into her father's house or her husband's house? In the traditional Ikwerre society, the way things are done traditionally, not the way the white people taught us or want us to believe or live like. Things are done quite differently. In the traditional society, it essentially explains the heritage of an individual in the society. not been whitewashed by sentiments, philosophies, world positions of the white people, but being influenced by the indigenous way of life of the people. That is what, traditional life is all about. Who are you in the world according to the environment that you emanate from? You come from Africa and you begin to behave like an Asian, like an European, like an American. No, it is a disorder. It is a misnomer. So it is not congruent with nature. You must have to live and behave the way you are fashioned by nature. That is what traditional life is all about. And so, in the traditional life of the people of Ikwerre land, no woman has the right, either as a woman who is legitimate, a bona fide member of the Ikwerre society, the daughter, the female child of an original Ikwerre person, to bring in another woman into her father's house as her wife. And no woman married into an Ikwerre family because your husband is dead or he is alive but impotent to impregnate you, to make you conceive, and for that reason, as a married woman in that family, you go out there and marry another woman and bring into your husband's house. No, that was never tolerated in the past. In Ikwerre land, as we have it today, quite commonly, you see a woman go out there, marry a fellow woman, pay the dowry of a woman, and bring the woman as her wife into her father's family to continue her own lineage. Oh, her arrow in the eyes of nature. No woman was permitted to do that in the past. How can you, after an Arabanco life, after damaging your womb as a result of prostitution, other wayward life, and for other reasons, you now go out, carry money because now you are a rich woman. You go and pay the dowry of a fellow woman and you bring the woman into your father's house. And you call the woman your wife. That was never part of the traditional life of the people of Ikwerre land in the past. And today, it is not also our traditional system. A woman can never marry a fellow woman. For what? In Ikwerre traditional society, a woman originally was not supposed to be in her father's house eternally. A woman was to stay in her father's house for some time and would go out. But to stay as a single woman in your father's house, if you like, go to Lagos, go to Kafanchan, rent a house, build a house of your own and stay. And you marry a fellow woman there. It is not in the name of your father's family that you are doing that. You are all alone. It is not our practice. Huh? Aha. Because Ikwerre people do not agree to same-sex marriage. What is same-sex? A woman to a woman, a man to a man, which means that if you marry a fellow woman, you might also have sexual affairs with her, and that is an abomination, a taboo in Ikwerre land. So a woman who is a legitimate member of the Ikwerre's traditional society cannot and is not supposed to marry a fellow woman. There is a case in the area that I stay where a woman from another part, of Ikwerre came to marry another woman. And when she came, she presented the money as dowry. And somebody said, Madam, we don't know where you come from, and this is not our tradition. And the people rejected her and her dowry, her money. How can you stand as a woman and marry officially, consummate a relationship with another woman? That, of course, was not part of the traditional life of the people of Ikwerre land in the past. And it was not also tolerated. A woman will carry some people, go to a particular area, and say, I want to marry so woman. And you don't raise questions. Do you want to have sexual affairs with woman? What must have attracted you to go and marry a fellow woman? If the reason is that you want to have a child or children before you die, of course, there is a traditional way of doing it without any qualms. And that is, you can still stay in your father's house and become pregnant and begin to conceive. And you now will be called Nwo Omirinya. Nyemwere Omirinya, and your children become Omu Omirinya. An Omirinya woman in Ikwerre is a woman that is not married. Although we have two categories of them in Ishopo, I don't know of other places. We have the women that are married into the community, the family, the village, as part of the Omirinya. We also have those who do not marry. They are the original Omirinya. And in Ikwerre traditional society, children or a child gotten from such a woman is legitimate or are legitimate. Although in classification, they are second class rated in the society. I'm a girl, yeah. I am a professor in native teaching. What I am doing is that even if I am not alive anymore at any time, let these things that I do guide you people. Only few people in Ikwerre land would do what I am doing. They may look at them as trivial and become nonchalant to talk about them. But I am giving you, this knowledge or knowledges so that you can be abreast of the traditional way things are done in Ikwerre land. A woman cannot traditionally take some people to a particular family to say, I want to marry a woman there, and pays the bride price of that woman, brings the woman home into her father's house. Even if she lives in Abuja, in London, she is still a child of a particular family for the fact that she is not married yet. And let me tell you, brother, sister, if you are a child born as a result of this circumstance, find your way. You are not an Ikwerre indigene. Brother, sister, if you are a person whose birth is from this kind of circumstance, please ask your mother who your father is. Please, so that you save yourself the embarrassment that may come traditionally, because someday something may arise and they will tell you, this is not our tradition, no, we don't know your origin. So find your way. And there is no way you can accord or allot, family property or assets to a child that comes from this circumstance. It is a misnomer. It is not part of us. A woman to go and marry a fellow woman, pay her dowry, and bring her into her father's house, and you say the children or the child born as a result of that circumstance is legal or illegal? No. Sister, find your way. Brother, you are not from Ikwerre land. It is not our tradition. If you like, let the community people don't give you anything. In recognition, stay in Lagos, stay in America. We don't care. You are not an indigene. Please stop to bear the name of that Ikwerre family, because you are not traditionally recognized as an indigene of that family, of the land, of the community. That is phase one. The other phase is a woman whose husband is dead or incapable of making her pregnant, of making her to have her own child or children. Now she goes out with Omunade, with the family members, to marry another woman from elsewhere and bring the woman into her husband's house. That is legal. That is legitimate. But it has a pattern. The woman cannot on her own gather money because she's a big woman, gather people, and head to a particular family. I want to marry somebody from here. When you bring the person, what do you do with her? You begin to have intercourse with her? Tell me. No. So it has a fashion. And the fashion is that if in the man's house, the man is impotent, the man is impotent, the man is incapable of making his wife to conceive, to give him children, and the man dies, because mostly it is done in this way, and the man dies. After some long time of waiting, in order not to allow the man's lineage to be closed, the woman can go outside and marry another woman and bring the woman into her husband's house. And this is the way it is done traditionally. The woman will, inform the people of her husband's family, nuclear and extended members. Say, I cannot stay like this. My husband has no child before he died. And I think there is need to have a continuation of my husband's lineage. And so I want another woman in my husband's family. This matter will be tabled before the people of the woman's husband. They will look at it and take a decision. And quite rationally, that decision is cogent. And so, they will accompany the woman if she has anyone in mind, based on character, family background, and other reasons and considerations, to officially go and marry the woman. The woman will not stand in front as the husband of the would-be woman coming in. What will be done is that the woman will present one of the brothers of her husband to the people as the husband. Because when the in-laws ask, who is marrying our daughter, the woman cannot come forward and say, I am the person. They will look at it. Please, sister, please, ma, in our land, a woman does not marry a fellow woman. No. So what happens is that the woman will present one of the members of the family related to the husband as the man that is marrying the woman. So when the official dowry is paid in the name of that man, yes, in the name of the man will stand as the official husband of that woman. But traditionally, because the family members of the woman's husband, are involved, the man will have no claim over the children that will come forth from the woman's womb. No, because the woman has a husband, although late, dead. But traditionally, she is a legal wife of somebody. And so, every child that comes from the woman that the woman has indicated interest to marry will all be known as Nyenwe Aku Mwe Mmo. The woman cannot stand, cannot forward herself to be the husband of the woman. So, a member trusted, liked, by the family would be presented forward as the husband to the woman. So when the woman now comes into the house of the woman, the dead man's house, the man whose name used to bring that woman, to marry that woman, to consummate that relationship, may continue to have interest on the woman or may not. In some cases that I have heard, the people who stood in for that marriage declined having affairs with the woman that came in, or with women that came in. Yes, I have had several, cases of that. So the woman will be free to go about. Any member of the family that is interested or an outsider can have an affair with her. The primary reason for that marriage is to make sure that the man's lineage continues and is not closed. But for the woman to stay on her own, carry dowry, carry people, go to a particular place, knocks at the door and tells them, I have come to marry your daughter. That is not part of the traditional practice of the people of Ikwerre land. It is done in the fashion that I have explained. The woman will not present herself as the husband to the woman. Instead, a member of the family would be presented to the family as the husband to be. So when the woman now comes, even if the people have the knowledge that, of course, that is what is arranged to happen, but before, the eyes of every person or the eyes of everyone, what would be, viewed about it is that someone, particularly a man, has come to marry our daughter, not a woman has come to marry our daughter. How does it sound? So in most societies, they frown at that. So when the woman comes in, she sprays, she goes about and can be impregnated by other people. Any child that is born from that woman is legitimate, is legal, is native in Ikwerre land. And make out dearly. So a woman who is not married because you have money, you now just go and marry somebody. Where are you going to bring the person to? The children that will come forth from that woman, what name are they going to answer? The name of the woman who is not married, who did not also through her own give back to any child. You went and married somebody. In which person's name? As I have said, if you fall into this kind of category, find your way. You are not from Ikwerre land. In fact, you can be sued by any legitimate member of the community if you want to hold claim to anything. Yes, you are not a proper legitimate member of the family in Ikwerre land. So brother, sister, find your way. Go and locate your father and go. You are not from Ikwerre land. This is not native to us. And again, for a woman whose husband is dead, because it is mostly done when the husband of the woman is dead, not when the man is alive. Because when the man is alive, he can find a way around it to have a child or children to continue his lineage. It is not going to be the responsibility of the woman to do so for the man. So when the man is dead, and the woman finds it very important to have someone or some people to continue the lineage of her dead husband, she is free to do that, but it has a traditional fashion. And as I've explained earlier, it must be in accordance, with the people of her husband. And the arrangement too must be done by the people of her husband. In some cases, if a man is dead, and a man is dead, in fact, I have that to discuss as another, topic. The role, close, relatives play when a man dies and leaves his wife around. So this is all about this lecture. I know that I have satiated your curiosity in this area, because so many of you must have heard or experienced what I am talking about. And I think that I have adequately offered the solutions, answered your questions as they regard to what I am talking about. Chineke goziano, Anmeka, Obuna Noma, Amen, Amen, Amen.